Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to hop on and do a fun little video that shows you some Coach outlet bags that are clearly inspired by designer bags. I thought it would be a great way for you to look at some Coach outlet bags to get kind of the luxury shape or luxury look for less. But before I get started, I do want to say thank you to those of you who have subscribed, and if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. I'm super stoked because I have 2 Fossil bags as well as 1 Coach outlet bag on the way for Black Friday shopping. And I also have a video coming up about a Coach outlet bag that I actually returned. So if any of those sound interesting to you, please do subscribe to my channel because at least then you will be notified of those videos. So starting off, I want to compare the Ivie Crossbody, which is actually one of the bags that I ordered for Black Friday, so I'm super excited to get that when it comes. And I want to compare it to the Gucci Ophidia small shoulder bag. So both of these bags are clearly like dome shaped with a leather trim. You can see for the Coach bag in the canvas that the leather trim is like a burgundy color, whereas for the Gucci bag it's brown. But for both of them you can see that like the leather trim is kind of standard all across the bag and has a little bit of a dip or a little bit of a U shape where it holds a large gold-toned logo. Both of them have that leather crossbody strap, and then on the canvas version of the Coach Ivie crossbody, you see that it has actually a metal hang tag, which looks very similar to the metal zipper pulls of the Ophidia bag, so I do think that they were drawing inspiration there. And another way that I think that they were drawing inspiration was in the interior of the bags. So one of the things that you might know about the Gucci Ophidia shoulder bag is that the interior is this beautiful kind of teal satin material. And for the Coach Ivie bag, you can see the interior is actually also colorful. I think usually when I get a black bag from the outlet, it has kind of a black interior that is not very satiny or not very luxurious, but you can see that here the interior of the bag is kind of a colored lining that looks a little softer or looks a little shiny. I'm not sure. I'll let you know when I get it. So that is the Coach Ivie crossbody compared to the Gucci Ophidia shoulder bag. Next up we have the Mini Sierra Satchel compared to the Alma BB bag. So both of these bags are this kind of a similar shape as the Gucci Ophidia or the Ivie crossbody, that they both have this like dome shape, but the cool thing about these bags is that they have a top handle, and the top handle for both bags will lay flat if you want to wear the bag crossbody. I was actually kind of super interested in buying the Mini Sierra Satchel, but instead I went for the Ivie, and I'll talk about that in my video when I do get the bag. So both bags, like I said, are dome shaped, have a top handle and a crossbody strap. Really the only difference that I see is that the Alma has, I think, 2 zippers that go on the main zipper of the bag, whereas the Sierra Satchel only has 1. But both have that kind of leather trim at the bottom where there's like a divider or difference. You know, obviously on the Mini Sierra Satchel, it's not very obvious because they're the same leather color, but if you were to get the Mini Sierra Satchel in like a coated canvas, it might be more obvious. Next up is the Mini Bennett Satchel compared to the Speedy B25, sorry. So as you know, I have the Mini Bennett Satchel in this color, in this cross grain leather. Both of these bags are very similar in size. The Mini Bennett Satchel is slightly smaller, and I learned this actually by trying to buy bag organizers that were advertised for the Speedy B25, and so I was like, oh shoot, they don't fit my bag. But either way, both are these kind of cylindrical style bags with a crossbody strap and top handles that again lay flat when you wear a crossbody. And both are actually similar to the Gucci Boston bag as well, if you've ever seen that shape. But I think the Boston bag sometimes does not come with a crossbody strap, so that's why I didn't put that on there. Next up is something a little bit more I guess trendy or a little bit less like classic style. So this is the Coach Canteen crossbody compared to the Ophidia Mini GG round shoulder bag. What a name. So both of these are these like circular bags. They are a little bit different. So the Coach bag has a little more functionality with the front slip pocket, and then the bottom of the Coach bag is actually flat, so it looks like it can stand up on its own, whereas the Ophidia bag doesn't necessarily look flat on the bottom, although maybe it is a little bit flat, who knows. But the both bags have like a crossbody strap, although the Gucci strap is a chain strap. But that chain strap does have a piece of leather on it that connects to the chain strap, so it will have the same kind of comfort level as the Coach version. But as you can see, both look very similar when you wear them crossbody. So next up is a series of Coach flap bags. So anytime I see a quilted flap bag, I honestly just think of the Chanel Classic flap. And especially when I saw this Cassidy Crossbody and the quilted leather with the metal rivets, I definitely immediately thought of the Chanel Classic flap. And here I just showed a picture of an example of a classic flap that's a little bit more jazzed up. It has some rivets in it. Obviously the rivets on the Chanel are a lot more intricate with the CCs, and there's like a camellia in there, I think. And the strap on the Chanel has that piece of leather going through. But either way, I think these bags look very similar. Unfortunately, the Cassidy Crossbody in the leather or the quilted leather is sold out, or at least I can't find it on the Coach website. So I looked at a different version of the Cassidy. And that version was the Cassidy with the smooth leather. So as you can see on this slide, this is the exact same bag, except it has smooth leather, and you see that the Chanel bag on the right side of the screen, it's the Chanel 2.55 handbag, also has smooth leather. Honestly, I don't know anything about this bag. I just thought that they looked very visually similar. They both have that chain strap without any leather in them, smooth leather, turn lock closure, things like that. So I thought it might be a fun comparison to make. And the cool thing about the Cassidy Crossbody is that the interior actually reminds me a lot of the Chanel bags. So if you know anything about the Chanel Classic flap, you know that the interior of those bags, I think, is always this burgundy color. And you can see that the Cassidy bag, when you open it up, has that same kind of burgundy color. It's a bit of a different shade, but you can clearly see that Coach drew inspiration from the Chanel bag and tried to incorporate that into their design. There's other ways that the bags are similar too. So the behind the turn lock closure, you see there's a slip pocket on both bags. And you also see that in the back of the bag, both have that slip pocket. And both, of course, have the chain strap and the turn lock closure and the flap and all of those other features as well. Next up is something a little bit trendier, which is the Ivie convertible belt bag and the Ophidia belt bag. So these look shockingly similar to me. So you see that here I show the Ivie convertible belt bag in the canvas, and both of these bags are in canvas with a leather trim. Both have that contrast stitching on the leather, and they have like a rectangular leather trim with just a little bit of a dip out for the logo to be featured. I think this is like the most obvious comparison I've shown in the entire video. So to me, it seems like Coach definitely drew inspiration here. But the good thing about the Coach bag is that the Coach bag comes with a crossbody strap. So it's actually convertible from a belt bag to a crossbody bag, whereas the Gucci bag does not have that same functionality. I will say that the Gucci bag is quite a bit smaller than the Coach bag, so that's probably why it doesn't come with that functionality. But that's great because, you know, belt bags are kind of a fad or a trendy thing right now. So once they have run their course, you can still get some usage out of your Coach bag. And of course, if you don't like the coated canvas or plain canvas version of the belt bag, you can get it in a plain black leather. Here I show the Coach convertible belt bag in a pebbled leather, and I compare it to the GG Marmont leather belt bag. Obviously, they're a little different because the Marmont has that quilted leather, but it's a similar idea. Black belt bag. So next up is a series of bags that I'm comparing to the Neverfull. So the Neverfull was a tough one because it's such a popular bag, but it has a lot of features that I couldn't find all in combination in certain bags. So I picked a couple bags that have certain features of the Neverfull, and so you can decide what features are kind of most important to you and then decide to buy that Coach outlet version of the bag, if that makes sense. So here I show the Market Tote. So the way that the Market Tote is similar to the Neverfull is that both of them are an open top tote, no zip closure, and they both have something that keeps the bag closed just in the middle of it. So here in the Market Tote, you see that piece of leather coming on top of it with the turn lock closure. And for the Neverfull, back here, back in the, like, behind the opening of the bag, there is a clasp to keep it closed. And that might be easier to see in this picture of the coated canvas Neverfull. You see those clips to keep the bag closed a little bit. And then you also see that the interior of these two bags is pretty similar as well. They both have like a pop of color on the interior, and both have a back zip pocket that kind of flaps out and is not fully attached to the bag. So you can definitely see, I think, that Coach drew some inspiration from the Neverfull here. Of course, the one thing that the Market Tote doesn't have that the Neverfull does is this removable pouch. So this pouch is something that a lot of people use with their Neverfull and also use separately if they need to like just go out and, you know, grab something on during their day at work or something. And so if that is a feature that's important to you and the closure and the zip pocket are not as important to you, then I think the Reversible City Tote would be a great option. So here I show it in the signature canvas just because it looks a little visually similar with a red interior. So the thing about the Reversible City Tote is that it's reversible. You can reverse it from being the coated canvas with all the logo all over it to just being a plain red bag, which I think is a great feature that the Neverfull actually doesn't have. But either way, both of them have this little wristlet or removable pouch that you can take with you with the bag or without the bag. So if that part is important to you, then the Reversible City Tote is definitely the way to go. But actually, one of my favorite features about the Neverfull is how it cinches in. I think it makes it look a lot less like a tote and a lot more like a handbag. I really like the look of it when it cinches in, and none of the bags I showed you previously have that functionality. One bag that does have that functionality from Coach is the Large Market Tote. Now, unfortunately, I have not been able to find this bag at the outlet. I did see it in the Black Friday sale at the outlet online, but I don't see it anymore on the outlet online, and I also don't see it in retail stores. So I don't know how much, how easy it would be to get the Large Market Tote. But either way, I wanted to point it out because the Large Market Tote has these strips of leather that connect together with a turn lock that will allow you to cinch in your bag just like the Neverfull. And they also have this back zip pocket, and they have the extra functionality of 2 slip pockets. They just don't come with the removable wristlet. So if that's important to you, then maybe you should go with a different bag. Now, of course, because the Large Market Tote is so hard to find, I thought I'd give you a different option that is still in stock at the Coach outlet online, at least as long as I've been filming this video. And that is the Drawstring Carryall in the signature canvas. So this has the same look as the Neverfull in that it has the drawstrings on the side, it's in a coated canvas with a darker handle, all those things. It has the same kind of closure on top, that it's like a big kind of open top, no zipper on the very top, and then it has a closure with the just like clip. But it actually has some extra functionality. So it has that back zip pocket that the Neverfull has, but it has 2 extra slip pockets as well as an interior zip pocket that can help keep your valuables a little safer. So that might make up for the fact that it doesn't come with the removable pouch that the Neverfull does. One thing about the Drawstring Carryall that kind of bums me out is that it only comes in these signature coated canvases. I would love the Drawstring Carryall if it was in like a kind of neutral canvas, something a little less logo driven, but unfortunately it doesn't. But still, it's a great comparison. So my last 2 bags are a bit of a stretch. They're not as kind of clear in terms of comparisons as the previous bags that I've shown, but I wanted to show them mostly because I think these Avary bags that the Coach outlet just released are really pretty, and I thought that you should know about them because I really like the way that the cross-grain leather looks, at least in the pictures. I haven't seen these in person yet because I haven't gone to the Coach outlet recently, but they have this kind of strip of leather that connects to a padlock-ish type closure that will keep the bag closed. So here I compare it to the Gucci padlock bags that have that padlock closure with that piece of leather coming up. Obviously they're a little different because the Avary bag is kind of a hobo style, whereas the padlock is more of a tote or open style, but you get the idea. They both have the same kind of closure that's very pretty in my opinion. And finally, we have the Avary Flap Carryall, which is a flat bag with a top handle and a chain strap. This reminded me a lot of the Chanel flat bag with a top handle. Like both have that flap over. Obviously, the Chanel is in a quilted leather and it has a turn lock closure, not a lock closure, but you get the idea in terms of the comparison of being like a flap top handle bag. So yeah, that is all the comparisons I have. I hope that this video was entertaining or at least a little bit inspiring for you to go do your Coach outlet online shopping. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other comparisons that I missed, because I'd love to know more, because I think this is like a really fun thing to do. And thanks for watching. Bye.